Have you ever stood in front of the Great Pyramid of Giza and felt disappointed? You expected the wonder of the ancient world, but all you see is a giant, crumbling, sand-colored staircase. What if I told you that 4,500 years ago it didn't look like that at all? It was the most dazzling, mirror-bright structure humans had ever built. And today, I'm going to show you exactly what it looked like using stunning new AI reconstructions that will change how you see the pyramids forever. Stick around, because by the end, you'll never look at Giza the same way again. For most of us, the pyramids are just three giant stone triangles sitting in the desert. They're impressive, sure, but they don't scream eighth wonder of the world. The truth is far more shocking. What we see today is a stripped-down skeleton. The smooth, gleaming skin that once covered the entire structure has been gone for centuries. Imagine walking up to the Great Pyramid and seeing nothing but rough, jagged core blocks. Like looking at a beautiful marble statue that someone has sandblasted down to the raw stone underneath. That's exactly what happened. The outer casing, over 144,000 massive blocks of pure white Tura limestone, was polished to a mirror finish. Each stone weighed up to 15 tons. They were fitted so perfectly that you couldn't slide a piece of paper between them. Ancient travelers said the pyramid reflected sunlight so intensely it looked like a second sun on the horizon. But then the problem began. Earthquakes cracked the casing. Medieval treasure hunters and later Cairo builders tore the stones away to build mosques and palaces. By the 14th century, almost the entire shining skin was gone. Only a few scattered blocks remained near the base of Khufu's pyramid, tiny reminders of what we lost. So the question every historian asks is simple. What did these pyramids actually look like when Pharaoh Khufu's engineers finished the job around 2580 BCE? Let's travel back. The Giza plateau is buzzing. Thousands of workers in white linen kilts are putting the final touches on the greatest building project in human history. The core is already complete. 2.3 million blocks of limestone and granite. But now comes the magic. The casing. Ships sail down the Nile from the Tura quarries, loaded with blinding white limestone. These stones aren't rough. They're precision cut and then polished on site by teams of masons using sand and leather straps until they shine like glass. As each casing stone is placed, the pyramid begins to transform. From a distance, it stops looking like a building and starts looking like a pure geometric light form rising out of the desert. The ancient Egyptians called it Iket, the glorious light. Greek historian Herodotus visited Giza in 450 BCE and was told the casing stones were so reflective that at midday the pyramid was almost too bright to look at directly. Other writers described it as shining like a star or visible from the mountains of Israel. Now here's where it gets mysterious. At the very top sat the pyramidion, the capstone. Most experts believe it was covered in electrum, a natural alloy of gold and silver. When the first rays of sunrise hit that golden tip, it would flash like a beacon across the entire Nile Valley. Priests would have timed ceremonies around that exact moment. But wait, was the entire pyramid white? Or did different sections have different colors? And why did the Egyptians go to such insane lengths to make it shine? We'll come back to that. Let's zoom in on the casing stones themselves. They weren't just smooth. They were slightly angled to create perfect 51.5-degree slopes. The precision was so perfect that modern laser measurements show the four sides of the base are off by less than 2 centimeters over 230 meters. That's engineering that would make NASA jealous. And it wasn't just the Great Pyramid. The entire Giza complex was a unified masterpiece. Khufu's pyramid still retains some casing at the top, a ghostly white triangle floating in the sky. Menkaura's smaller pyramid had red granite casing at the bottom and white limestone above, creating a stunning two-tone effect. The Sphinx, freshly carved, would have been painted in bright colors, reds, blues, and golds, guarding the entire sacred plateau. Ancient Egyptian texts describe the finished pyramids as mountains of light that connected the pharaoh directly to the sun god Ra. The reflection of sunlight was intentional. It was meant to be a literal stairway to heaven that the king's soul could climb. But the biggest mystery of all? How did they move and place those 15-ton casing stones with such insane accuracy without modern cranes. The ramps, the levers, the sleds lubricated with water. The engineering genius is still being debated today. And here's something almost no one talks about. When the pyramids were finished, they weren't alone. They were surrounded by gleaming white temples, causeways paved with basalt, and a harbor connected to the Nile. The entire complex looked more like a futuristic city of light than a cemetery. Now, let's see it. Using the latest AI reconstruction technology, we can finally bring the pyramids back to their original glory. Look at this. The Great Pyramid rises 146.6 meters into the sky, every single face covered in flawless, mirror-polished white limestone. The golden pyramidion blazes at the summit. At sunrise, it doesn't just reflect light, it creates its own. The three pyramids together form a blinding white triangle formation that dominates the horizon for miles. The Nile in the background is full of papyrus boats. Palm groves sway in the breeze. You can almost hear the chants of the priests. This wasn't just a tomb. This was ancient Egypt's ultimate power statement, a demonstration that the pharaoh could command the sun itself to shine on his monument.
Push. We must
The historical insight is profound. The pyramids weren't built by slaves. They were built by skilled, proud Egyptians who believed they were creating something eternal. The gleaming white skin wasn't decoration. It was theology made visible. And here's the emotional punch. We almost lost this vision forever. But thanks to modern technology and painstaking archaeology, we can now see what the ancients saw. So next time someone shows you a photo of the pyramids looking like dusty ruins, show them this. Show them the real pyramids, the mountains of light that once stunned the ancient world. Because now you know the truth. The pyramids didn't just stand the test of time. They were designed to shine brighter than anything else on Earth. If this video blew your mind, smash that like button, drop a comment with the emoji if you want to see more AI reconstructions of lost wonders, and subscribe so you never miss the next journey into the past. I'll see you in the next chapter of history.